What's up? Man, my hair look kind of crazy today, man. It's been a day, man. It's been a day. Bear with me, man. I don't even know where to start. I don't even know where to start. We're gonna have some special guests today. We're gonna try to we're gonna try to do our part. I don't know if y'all saw that great collab earlier today with We Talk Mavs, Rel and King, slightly biased, and a Dallas prospect, man. Well, what a great collaboration, man. What a great moment for Dallas Mavericks content creators. What a great moment for us that consume said content. Great moment, man. Long overdue. I loved seeing every second of it. Unfortunately, I was at work, so I didn't get to see much of it live. So I was trying to comment whenever I could. I was just in a very long meeting, but I do want to. Is my camera a little too low? Hold on, let me see if I could adjust. Cause once I start adjusting stuff, I start messing things up. Man, maybe I'm not gonna touch it. I'm not gonna touch it because, um, yeah, because that's why. Anyway, great moment though, man. Great moment. I was thoroughly happy. Because like I always give credit to We Talk Mavs, right? Without We Talk Mavs, pregame show doesn't exist. I don't gain the confidence or the get over the stage fright of doing it. Um, so to see them be like that beacon of collaboration, the way I look at it, like to always reach out to people and try to collaborate and whatnot. I feel like they've been leading that charge in a way, and it was just dope to see, someone like an OG like the Dallas prospect jump on there, talk Mavericks basketball, and then slightly biased from one of the more creative, Mavs content creators out there. Just the dude has a crazy mind, especially with the skits he does, and he follows all basketball teams, so he's not just a Mavs guy. Like he says, he likes to be an NBA guy. I just thought it was fantastic, man. So I just wanted to give my kudos to them. Kudos to a great show. I still got to finish watching the last 20 minutes or so. Again, it's been a jam packed day today, but yeah, man. So salute to them. Hope y'all enjoy that show as well. Other than that, there's been some other topics, right? There's been some other things that has happened this week. You know, I should show y'all, right? I should show y'all what happened this week. All right, let me. I think I got something for y'all, man. I think I could show y'all what happened. Let me see, because people like the post. Hold on. There it goes. There it goes. All right. Here we go, man. Let me show y'all what happened earlier this week. So earlier this week, literally almost like 2 days ago, right? I ended up going to the basketball court, right? And I tweeted this thing out here where I'm talking about this Luka Doncic move. I said the Luka dribble move is exhausting, by the way, but when done right during the game, it's effective as f, no matter the speed. I'm aware I'm not Luka or in shape, but this move is great cardio for real, for real. I'm glad I could start doing this again in general, little by little. This thing got 302 million views, 3,000. Yeah, I don't know why I liked it, but I did yeah, there was my fault. I don't know why I got carried away. 1.7 thousand bookmarks, dog. 3.3 likes, 400 and some reposts. This was probably the craziest, most, how would I put it, most viral thing I've ever been a part of. There's a lot of things that people could say. Glenn says 280 bookmarks. Y'all ain't ish. They can't wait to use this clip. Brave man. But there's other things that people have said. I dare Luca to have a bad game as a way to repost this when that happens. Got our Dominican Tatum version of Luca. So there's been a lot of comments, right? Yeah, there's been positive ones and there's been pretty rough ones, right? But I should have known better going into it. But with all that being said, right, just to address it, at the end of the day, man, put it like this. I know it went viral. I know people are gonna want to use this as a way to slander Luca. At the end of the day, I'm very comfortable being vulnerable, right? I do YouTube. I've been doing YouTube for 7 years. So I've seen every single comment you could think of. My family is probably even more harsh than you could think of, right? Mexican households, they're the roughest, man. As far as like like poking at your vulnerabilities. So when everybody went crazy on the positive end, I loved it. It was very motivating. Like everyone was talking about, they were just kind of talking about the intricacies of that move, and I was very appreciative of that because from a hooper to hooper, sometimes obviously you would want your work to be noticed as far as what you're doing. I'm obviously overweight right now, dealing with this injury, and just been in a rut as of late, trying to get out of it, trying to kick out of it, and I think I'm getting there. But to be able to do those kind of moves at the weight I'm at is not necessarily heard of necessarily. And so for some that did notice it, I was very happy with that. And then the ones that just wanted to use it as slander, of like, do you, right? It's Twitter. It is what it is. I fully understand. But I do understand that, any kind of acknowledgement or how would I say, promo, or what's the word I'm trying to look for? Any kind of dang. I done stumped my own self. It is what it is. Good or bad promo, it is what it is, man. Hopefully people enjoy that move. I feel like I need to do more of it, like teach people how to actually do the move, because there is things on how to do that Luka Doncic move. It's like attacking the hip, and basically if you're trying to go left, right, against a defender who's squared up, you gotta go left with that move first to make him go right, to make him turn that hip, to then come back left so you can have your shot, right? So it's a very deep move, put it like that. So that happened this week, right? Went viral. It don't change me. I thought it was cool. Appreciate everybody that liked it. But what a week it was for the Dallas Mavericks, right? What a week it was. Losses. Horrible losses to the 76ers and the Pacers. And I was at the game last night against the Miami Heat. We did a live IRL, a pregame show. I did it with Chris. Pause. I did a pregame show with Chris at the game. Mr. Fire, Jason Kidd guy. And the other homie, Tyler Reddington, he was out there as well. They're going to be on this show tonight. We're going to talk about the week that has been for the Dallas Mavericks. Specifically with the 76ers game, the Pacers game. I want to ask them specific questions about that. Then I want to ask them about the Miami Heat game. And then I'll probably ask them about the We Talk Mavs collaboration today. That was pretty dope. We're going to have a good chit chat. And then around 11:30 p.m. time, Central Time, I will open up the chat and put the invite in the chat for everybody or that wants to jump on and ask questions, interview a viral sensation and TGK. No, I'm BSing. So we're going to do that today, man. Again, hope y'all having a good night. It's been a crazy week in Dallas. My socks are still wet. That's how much it's been raining here. So, again, hope y'all having a good day, good week, good night. Hopefully this is content that y'all don't mind just having in the background, listening to, commenting, liking, whatever the case may be. Again, I just kind of look at this as an extra layer to Mavs content, but more of a relaxed version of it. So look at it that way, right? Let me see. Let me just double check. Trying to make sure my guests are ready to go. I do want to put a comment in here because I did ask this before. Jason Kidd confidence meter, right? A lot of people, I think it was 60% had voted 10% earlier this week. So I'm going to put the same values up there. And I want to see if people have possibly changed their tune to Jason Kidd. Leah, let me know where your confidence meter is in Jason Kidd. I'm going to read some comments. And I'll wait for the guests to show up whenever they get here, man. Let me. Oh, I forgot to mention this. This phone right here, right? This is one of my old phones. My current phone, a Samsung 22 Ultra, blacked out. My current brand new phone, my current new phone blacked the hell out. I had to poke a hole into the thing, remove the SIM card, put it in an old one. It's been a hellish day today. Also went to SmackDown today. So for those that are into wrestling, put a question down below and I'll answer it. I don't want to just throw wrestling onto y'all if y'all ain't ready or into that. But it looks like we got a guest here. One of the homies is here in the building. You already know how this goes. Let's see. Can I put on some decent? Nah, I don't want to put that on. Anyway, man, let's go ahead and introduce one of the guests. He is how would I say, an AKA, right? His alias is known as the Fire Jason Kidd guy. We're about to introduce you. Let me hit you with a quick signature, though. What up? What up, man? How you doing, bro?
All right, man. We're gonna have to get a triple mic check or something, man. I don't know what the audio. Got
Can you
new.
hear? Can you hear me though?
I got you. I got you. How's
I got
my
you,
mic
bro.
sound?
I can hear you, bro. You sound
Does it
good.
sound? Does it sound crazy hollow though?
Nah, I mean it's doable. It's doable. Pause. It's doable. We can hear
Okay.
you.
It's raining outside. What y'all doing on a what is it? Friday on a Friday night,
Friday night, man. Friday night.
bro. How was SmackDown?
Well, hey, I'm glad you asked. Right, SmackDown, man. Cody Rhodes smacked the hell out of The Rock in his face. That was pretty cool.
Okay.
It was pretty contentious. I ain't gonna lie. It was pretty contentious, but
Yeah,
it was a good time. It was a good time, man.
it was at American Airlines.
Yeah,
Was it just absolutely packed?
it actually was. It was very packed. The crowd was hot, man. They were like The Rock's been saying, man. Wrestling is cool. The Rock was at the Mesquite Rodeo earlier today. Can you believe that?
Oh shit.
Yeah,
That's,
he was out there shooting a promo, man.
yes, sir.
Can you believe that, right? Shooting a promo at the Mesquite Rodeo. Who would have thought? Who would have thought, man? So, I wanted to ask you, bro. You've been at did you go to the 76ers game Sunday?
I did not go to the 76ers game.
Okay, so you were at the Pacers game.
I was at the Pacers game on Tuesday, and obviously me and you, we went pretty hard at the game last night, man. That was a lot of fun. It's
Yeah.
been a little while since AAC was rocking like that. Like,
Really?
I'm just saying, let's be honest.
Save that because
Okay.
I want to talk about the Pacers first.
Yeah.
So the Pacers game, right? When you got into the arena, what was all right? So before we even get to that, we lost to the 76ers, right? Going to that arena, we're on a loss. I think there was still some kind of optimism that the Mavs would eventually turn it around. Going to that game, what was your vibe going into it, and then what did you feel from the crowd at that game?
Well, I mean, everybody was down bad after the Sixers game. Like Mavs Twitter, we've seen it before after a bad loss where it's just an absolute shambles,
Yep.
myself included, you know? And after that specific game, a bunch of people started calling for J Kidd for his job. Basically, where like a lot of people were like, "That's the last straw." That Philly game where he
Mm.
just clearly didn't make the adjustments necessary. A game they absolutely cannot lose, and just didn't have a lot of energy. That
Yeah.
they didn't show a lot of heart, and it was just really confusing. So all of a sudden, all that fire J Kidd stuff I was doing last year just suddenly sparked again.
Yeah.
And next thing you know, it was raging. So going to the game on Tuesday, I mean, it was like more than 48 hours because of the early tip off against Philly. So we're
Yeah.
talking damn near 2.5 days of just the Jason Kidd negativity and slander. And now the national media is starting to pick it up a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And so, like, it's probably at the height of what it's been, maybe since he's been in Dallas, as far as like the negativity towards him and people finally realizing, like, oh shit, this dude's not a good NBA head coach. So all that's boiling into Tuesday.
Yeah.
And it's just like, man, if they get off to a slow start, man, if they get off to a bad start. I was actually hanging out with this guy, Lee. I don't even know how to say his last name. Lee Escobedo, I think. But he writes for Deadspin, does a bunch of stuff. He just posted something about doing PR
Nice.
for that Kyrie launch.
Okay. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, so I
Nice.
linked up with him on Twitter, and we actually went to the game. But by the time we got there, the first quarter had kind of already started. I was on one already, so I was in the matrix, man. I wasn't really thinking about, what the vibe was like walking into the arena.
Mm-hmm.
But it didn't take long to see that the Pacers were about to put an ass whooping on the Mavs, and you could just feel it in the arena, the negativity, and just like the frustration. And when we got into the building, I immediately in the first quarter, I had the Fire Jason Kidd shirt on, but I got to be super careful with it because I'm not trying to get kicked out. And I'm also not going to show up and start chanting Fire Jason Kidd if they're winning the game and the crowd's going crazy. Like
Yeah.
you were with me last night, and I know we'll talk about that, but
Yeah.
95+% of the time, maybe more, maybe 98, 99, I'm just cheering for the Mavs, having fun and going crazy.
Right.
But I told Lee, I was like, bro, if they go down double digits in the second half, it's going to get weird in here. Like, you could just feel it, man.
Yeah.
And then they came out the third quarter flat. Next thing you know, they're down 15. They're down almost 20, whatever it was. I don't remember the exact numbers, but throughout the night, I was yelling super loud. And you were with me last night, so you see where the seats are at.
Yeah.
And if my voice is 100%, they for sure can hear me on the bench. Like, no doubt about it. There's no like, I don't think they hear you. No. When I'm yelling as loud as I can, when it gets quiet, they're hearing me. So from the first quarter, I was going, Hardy. By the third quarter, I had about 6 or 7 people that when I would do it would start chanting with me. Tim Hardaway Jr.'s missing jumpers. Hardy, like we're not doing it nonstop. Maybe like once or twice a quarter for like 3, 4, 5 seconds, whatever. But you see a couple dudes from the bench look up, and in the third quarter one time, you saw Jay Hardy look up, almost like embarrassed, like of the attention. But I'm telling you right now, he also had a look on his face, like he was like, yeah, they should put my ass in. I'm telling you, that's what I saw when he turned and looked at us like, you ain't lying, buddy, type of vibe.
Right.
So they obviously had a really tough game. 2-3 minutes left. By this time, I have the jersey off. So most of the second half, or I would say at the end of the third quarter, I took the Kyrie jersey off, had the Fire Jason Kidd shirt, was rocking the Kyrie jersey like a cape, and
I saw that.
Did the Hardy stuff a little bit more. But then when it got to about 1-2 minutes left in the game, really about maybe like a minute and a half, I stood up and started booing, like really loud. So me and you hung out at a game earlier this year, but we didn't go to the game together.
Yeah.
But you described it really well when at that game, I think it was Toronto, really bad loss against Toronto.
Yep.
And you were like, bro, that was the most disrespectful boo I've ever heard. Right. And there was a debate about if what I do is disrespectful, but booing's booing. Talk to Missy. Bam. Missy will tell you.
Speaking of Missy, there's certain times. Keep that thought you had. There's certain times when I'm at the arena or in general that I do something and I'm like, damn, maybe I should get the contact just in case, right? And yesterday was a golden moment for me to have gotten Missy's contact because I would have loved to have her a part of one of these pregame shows one of these days.
I think we'll see her again. I mean, like she's not hard to.
So hey, if you ever see her at one of these other games, obviously I don't know if I'll be able to go again sometime this year, but if you see her again, bro, get that contact for me. 100%.
Missy could kick it anytime. I loved her energy. She was the best interview by far, and I know we're jumping ahead a little bit, but Missy was cool people, man. Yeah, booing. I was loudly, disrespectfully, if you want to call it that, but that's just the vibe. Like it's uncomfortable when I start booing that loud. Yeah. And I get that, and I try to be respectful of the people around me, but like, bro, it's like 90% of the people gone. It's a minute left on maybe the worst loss of the season. There's not a ton of people there. I'm not ruining some kid's first game, and now he's gonna have some like. Again, I'm doing stuff like this once, maybe twice a quarter at very specific moments for a very short amount of time. I'm not ruining anybody's good time. You could argue some of the people in my section would agree that maybe I'm enhancing some people's good time because there's definitely some people that rock with me and vibe with me when it gets a little bit weird, right? So anyways, I stand up, I'm booing for maybe like 15, 20 seconds, just loud. Boo! Cuban can hear me. They can all hear me 100%.
Yeah.
And that's when I started chanting I turned around. I had told some people like it's coming, and I started going, "Fire Jason Kidd," and I knew there was a dude taking a video of me, and it took that fool trying to troll me, and the dude on Twitter that got reverse trolled when people started talking shit to him in his own comment. And I
Yeah.
don't even get involved in stuff like that. I'll let other people go back and forth with him. But he ended up posting the video,
Mm-hmm.
which I didn't have, and I didn't know anybody that did have it. And
Yeah.
it's a short little clip, but you could see me doing Fire Jason Kidd. You cannot hear the three people that were chanting with me,
Yeah.
but you could see that usher telling me, stop, stop. And I just had to have laser focus like she wasn't there, bro.
Yeah.
And just had to, and it's maybe 10 seconds of Fire Jason Kidd, maybe 15, probably closer to 10.
Mm-hmm.
And then I shut it down. But it gets weird, it gets uncomfortable. And that's part of what I'm trying to do though, is like I want Cuban to be uncomfortable. I
Mm-hmm.
want dudes that come out onto the court and play like shit with no energy to be uncomfortable. I feel like as a fan, I don't want to say it's my right, but like not in the fact like I deserve it, but like that's how I'm encouraging my team. Real shit. I
Mm-hmm.
was telling Lee a story the other night. Look in my Twitter bio. It says I'm a church league legend. And I already told TGK, bro, he ain't doing the Luca on me, bro. I'm clamping him. Right?
Nah, nah,
If
nah,
I ever
nah.
get the invite, I'm clamping your boy here. But
Hey, we
that's the
can
way.
film it. We can film it for the people. All right. Hey, we can have another viral moment, man.
Oh
Trust
my
me.
goodness, bro. My old ass falling down.
Yeah, there'll be some happy people, to see that for sure.
But we had a dude on our team, Ethan,
Mm-hmm.
and my nickname for him was Kid Ridiculous because he was such a baller. He was the best dude in the league. When he was a senior, Darren Collison was a sophomore backing him up in high school. Shout out Rancho Cucamonga High School from way back. So dude was a baller. And I remember one time at halftime, we were losing to a team we should never be losing to. And I legit grabbed him by the jersey and almost like pushed him up against the wall. And I was like, bro, nobody out here can guard you. Like, I don't know what you're doing, but you need to go take this game over because there's no way we should ever lose to this team. And it was like an aggressive, like, get your shit together. And I just feel like there's nobody on the Mavericks that's doing that to anybody at any point. And so, look, bro, I don't think I'm the coach. I'm just a fan expressing myself. And I'm expressing myself like y'all should be doing better. There should be more effort. And when this is what I see on the court, this is my reaction. And
Yeah.
when they're balling like they did last night, bro, it's all positivity.
Mm-hmm.
Except for when THJ missed a few, I did yell sub
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
pretty
yeah.
loud, pretty loud. But I mean, that's pretty
You
much anytime Timmy
you broke
misses
your
one,
you
I try
broke
to
your
get
voice.
off. You know what I
You
mean?
broke your
But
voice doing the sub.
woo, buddy, woo, buddy. So Tuesday was rough.
Yeah.
Tuesday was very, very rough. Um, and I mean, people were saying it was the worst loss of the season. Like,
Really.
I mean, I don't know. That's what the timeline was trying to tell me, that the Pacers loss was the worst of the season because it was such an important game for them
Mm-hmm. It was
in the
inexcusable.
standings. Like, if you look at the standings right now, I mean, who's ever above New Orleans, Phoenix, like they're trying to distance themselves now. And there's
Mm-hmm.
two groups forming. And that bottom group of 8, 9, 10 is the Warriors, the Lakers, and the Mavs, to where the Mavs desperately need every single win.
Yeah.
And to
Just to
come
stay
out
out of there.
flat like that,
Mm-hmm.
it's inexcusable. And it speaks so much to their lack of culture, their lack of accountability, lack of leadership. Of there's nobody in the locker room that's I mean, I'm not in the locker room, you're not in the locker room, but do you get the sense that anybody's calling anybody out at any point during this season or any game besides Luca,
Yeah, I was about to
like
say.
getting frustrated on the court and pouting
Yeah.
instead of going up to Josh Green or whoever he was mad at and getting in his face? Because look, okay, we'll talk about it, but remind me later when we talk about the Heat game about the
Mm-hmm.
observations I made about how Jimmy Butler was interacting with his teammates
Mm-hmm.
and what a leader looks like. And I love Luca, man. I love Luca. He's my favorite player. I think he's probably right there, if not the best player on planet Earth. I love Luka, but that doesn't mean we can't make observations about his game
Facts,
that
facts,
we all
facts.
see, especially those of us that know ball
Yeah.
and can understand exactly what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
And we talked about something else last night. Remind me about players and coaches standing up for Luka and maybe why
Mm.
we don't see that. And like, I really didn't go deep on it till we were at the game last night. And I was like, damn, dude, does that say something? But anyways, man, shit, it was a bad loss. It was a bad
Yeah.
loss. But last night, woo, talk to me. I'm
Yeah.
rambling, bro. I'm on one. I'm
Nah, you
excited
good.
about
You
the guys,
good.
bro. I want to
You
hear
good.
from you, man.
Nah, I wish Tyler was on, man. I'm trying to get some see what the hell he had. He said he was gonna be here. You know.
Did you link up with him last night? Because I mean, we got separated for a little bit there. Is that
Yeah.
who you
No.
to hook up with?
Well, we saw him from across the section, right, where we were like, "Hey," and he was pumping his chest and whatnot. So he's cool, man. Cool people. Man, maybe he did go on his date tonight that he said he had that he
I
was
mean,
gonna
good
he
for
was
him,
gonna
dude.
ditch.
Like,
Yeah.
I mean,
I told him, "Hey, you gonna handle your date?" He was like, "No, I'll be on TGK TV." Like, all right, hey, man.
hey,
He probably took that date. I would have took that date too. Anyway, how about I get in a couple of comments before we get into our pregame show yesterday and the Miami Heat stuff. Let me see what the people are saying down below.
oh, talk to
But
the people.
yeah, let's talk to the people right quick. Hold my latte. What up? He says, if it wasn't for your meeting, you slightly DDP. We talk Mavs. Best starting five of Mavs content creators. Damn. Wow. I appreciate that latte. Uh, for full disclosure, I was supposed to be a part of that collaboration
Mm,
originally. Um, but I think they had like changes in schedules. But then I was going to SmackDown, so I couldn't make the 7 p.m. call, right? And I think they were able to change some things, whatever the case may be. But I think it worked out. Going live at 11 after a win, perfect timing. Perfect timing. Love that show. But I would have loved to finally like been in the presence
I
of
did.
like
I
all
did
three of those
watch it.
goats. You know what I'm saying? You
I
saw
got
it.
a chance.
What you think of it?
I got a chance to watch most of it, and it was really good. It
Yeah.
was really good, man. We talk Mavs. I heard what you said earlier about him, and I think you're spot on, man. Just really good guys,
Mm-hmm.
really genuine. They talk their shit though about the
Yeah.
Mavs
Yeah.
too, though. They collab with a lot of different people, and like
Mm-hmm.
that's a hard. I think Slightly does a really good job of it too. Where
Mm-hmm.
like he can be critical and talk shit, but then still like I mean, I guess he does have the shirt that says "unblock slightly," So I don't know the whole story,
Yeah.
but it's a tough line to walk sometimes, where
Mm-hmm.
you can be critical and even sometimes be like aggressively, overly critical after a bad loss, and we all get in our feelings,
Mm-hmm.
but then still balance that with like just being a Mavs content creator and being in the good graces of being on a show like Locked On Mavs or working for a show that has press passes and like having a good relationship with the Mavericks and still being critical. Obviously, like Tim McMahon, and like it's not
Yeah.
easy.
Nah.
Um, and so we talk Mavs. They just do a great job. Really like those guys. Like the content they put out. And today's show was pretty damn good, man. It was
Yeah.
entertaining watch.
Yeah.
And I had
Nah.
never seen DDP, and he was dialed in, man. I saw the air
Mm-hmm.
conditioning repairman showed up at one point, and he had to dip out and come back. But he was really well spoken, really informative. Sound like he, got that high basketball IQ and understands the game, knows what he's
Mm-hmm.
talking about. And he actually had me looking up that DDP yoga. I don't know.
Oh, DDP Yoga's good, bro. Yeah, I was just texting him just now. Cause I used to do DDP yoga back in like 2015, 2016. It's great.
I need
It's a
I
it's a
need some.
really yeah, man. It's a really good yoga. Like you could stand in one spot and then get your heart rate up real high, just by the things he does. But um, that aside, watching their video today, I was like, it's probably good that I wasn't on there. Because I would have sounded so like unaware of basketball. Like they spoke so well, they talked it very well. I would have just been like a sore thumb, man. So
Bro,
I'm
you would
glad
have
they collabed.
no, you would have fit right in, man. Hey,
Nah, man,
don't do that.
nah.
Hey, look, hey,
Those are goats, man. Those are
hey,
goats.
in the comments, show TGK some love, man, because we all love your show.
Yeah, yeah.
Doing the
No,
IRL thing was
I
just a really creative, fun idea that I
yeah,
think still has some legs. As
yeah,
I
yeah,
was
yeah.
telling you, I think people like it. I think you're on to something with the interviews. Um, but you kick ass, man, and you would have fit right in with those guys, and you belong. You know,
Oh
so
yeah. No,
yeah,
I think so too. But the like looking at it, like it just meshed perfectly. You add a fifth person to it, I feel like it might have thrown it off, right? So
it did look good, man. It did look good. There was a couple times where they like had to get out of each other's way a little bit, but they
yeah,
did
yeah,
a job of that. And I was like, with four people on there, like I actually thought that during the show, where King a couple times, was facilitating and just did a
yeah,
great job. So yeah, I see what you're saying about five being even more difficult.
yeah.
Uh, but you fit right in with those fellas, man.
Yeah, I think I would have done all right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, Latte says that your step back Luca video went viral. You should be our backup point guard in case Exum is hurt again. Look, man, I'm hurt right now. All right. But I would love obviously if I was healthy in shape and physically ready to go and with endurance and stamina, all that like that. That was my dream before I sustained an injury. I sustained an injury at a Pepsi warehouse. So let me take you way back real quick. 2008. Yeah, 2008. I was training my ass off and saving up money to try out at was it the D League back then or G League back then? I don't think it was a G League back then. It was called something different back then. You had to fly to New York and try out to be a part of the G League at the time, right? Chris, I'm telling you, I was training my ass off, bro. I was able to dunk like at that time. I was ripped, everything. Working for a Pepsi warehouse, they didn't train me properly, and a motorized pallet jack ran over my ankle through a pallet and fractured my tibula and fibula whole all the way through. I had to get two operations to fix it, and after that, depression ensued, and it was right. Couldn't walk for about 7 months properly, and had to battle back, man. But
Well,
long story short, that was a goal of
man,
mine. But right now, I just need to get back in shape, man. So
I'll
I
tell
can
you
do
what.
more Luca viral videos.
I don't. After hearing that, I think I'd rather be on your team. We could get some 2-on-2, like some white men can't jump type vibes. Like we could be a team, right?
Yeah.
Because after hearing that, man, like I don't know if I want to guard you anymore, and I certainly don't want to record it, man. So we could maybe just pass pass on that, buddy.
Yeah, we could just shoot around, man. We could just shoot around.
I'm a catch and shoot guy, a little off the dribble stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's what I'm becoming. I
Tell
don't
me,
want.
hey, real quick, man, before you read this,
What's
I,
up?
I I would like to hear about your basketball history before you were training for the D League. Like, did you play high school? Did you play college? Like what's your basketball background like?
Uh, Street hooper, man. I was a street hooper. I picked up a basketball in '99. Fell in love with it. Growing up in my neighborhood, we're talking about back in '99, guys.
I
I
peaked in
was I
that.
was like 9 years old, right? Um, there really wasn't many Hispanics hooping. I'm just gonna keep it 100 with you,
Where was
especially in,
this
huh?
where was this at?
Pleasant Grove,
Okay.
Pleasant Grove. So there really wasn't many Hispanics hooping, so you didn't see like your kind, right? That's
Yep.
hooping. So you never felt the part, right? This is the black folks, bro. This is what like they have. How would I put it? Like they're just naturally gifted in every single sport, but in basketball, like you have to prove yourself to be on the court, right? This is what it was growing up. I had a, especially being a Mexican kid, there were you get the looks, right? Like man, who is this kid, right? So I had to learn the game in my backyard, kind of isolate myself, learn how to play, and then once I got to middle school, that's when I was able to kind of get out of my shell to actually try to hoop in general, right? Not just because it was a black or white thing or a Mexican thing, but back then it was very ignorant in that way. People looked at it like that, especially with the race wars and gang wars that was going on in Pleasant Grove. So I picked up the ball, started hooping, started making friends, and I was learning the game. I was probably like a sore thumb. I was the only Mexican around, all these black kids playing basketball, right? I remember these two guys. One guy named Aubrey, and another guy named Cedric. These are like, to me, they were like in the hood, one of the two of the best players I've ever seen in my life. Right, I learned so much from them. I played 1-on-1 against them to 50 points. So much, like, because to me, I looked at it as I'm learning. I'm gonna learn something from this, right? So then eventually I get to high school, right? I skipped like a big portion of middle school. I got jumped for playing basketball. Long story short, we
Damn.
we, we could take
Love
that
for the
offline.
game, my
Huh?
man. I said that's love for the game.
Yeah, well, it's because I was associated with a gang, but I'm not a gangster at all, right? But I was associated with a gang because of the neighborhood I was in, and on top of it, the school that we were having, they had a lot of tensions with races, with black and Mexicans. I had no part of it. I hate that kind of stuff anyway. But I was playing basketball. I hit a half court shot in a call out game. I don't know if you ever played call out where people are under the basket, one's at the 3 point line. They pass it to you, and if you're under the basket, you got to pass it back to the guy at the 3 point line and try to block his shot. And if he makes it, you're out of the game. Long story short, it came down to me and the last guy, which is the best guy on the court. He threw the ball at my head, so it went off my head all the way to half court. And wherever you catch it, you have to shoot it. And I'm telling you, all the kids, it was time to. It was almost time to go. Right, like the bell's finna ring, so everybody's waiting inside the gym. I get to half court. He's running at me. I let it go. It goes in. The whole gym goes nuts. Right. He got embarrassed. So we're walking out. Class is over. I'm walking to my class. He comes up to me like, "Hey man, I heard you gonna get this. You know, the gang I was associated with the jumping." I was like, "No, what the hell?" And then, pop, got knocked the hell out, bro. I didn't see the punch coming. I got hit right here. You know those old schools where they have the heaters, the metal heaters in the hallways. Bang! Hit that on my head.
And
I knocked the hell out, bro. So I lost all confidence. I was scared to hoop against anybody, bro. But in high school, I had this growth spurt. Started hooping, but I didn't have my academics right until my junior year. And then when I attempted to try out, the coach, he just had issues with me. He didn't like me for some reason, even though I had embarrassed his point guard. I was able to score, point for point with a shooting guard. For some reason, he just didn't let me be on the team. So that was as far as it got. And other than that, I would just hoop in like little rec leagues, hoop in the street. And then one year, I was like, you know what? If I'm able to dunk at my height and I'm able to do all these things, like, why not go try for the G League and just see what can happen? And before I got to do that, fractured my ankle, bro.
damn, dude, that's a deep one. Like, I figured there was something, about you balling before. Obviously, if you're getting ready to try out for the G League, man. But that's pretty deep about the middle school, man. But good for
Mm-hmm.
you to stick with it though, man. Even
Yeah.
through an injury, and now got the little viral video with the hoop. I mean, I bet that's gotta feel good, just from like obviously an engagement standpoint, right? Like
Yeah.
anytime you tweet something that a lot of people respond to, polarizing or not, good and bad. I actually like the trolls better. Like it's just fun sometimes to just have to see people talking shit. I
Yeah.
read more of their stuff than anything, man. But good for you, man. That's badass, dude. I grew up playing hoops. I grew up in the hood playing hoops. So
Yeah.
I was one of the few white kids at the spots we used to play, man. But this was back in the '80s, so it was I don't know, man. I just grew up in a melting pot in Southern California,
Yeah.
and just always hooped with all kind of different people. And so that's a crazy wild ride, man. Here you are doing a Mavs
Mavs
pregame show. Got
and
the
a
got the midnight
yeah.
Mavness going. That's what's up, man.
Yeah. If you would have told me I would have been doing this even a year ago, when I first started, I wouldn't have believed you. But to give you one more layer about the basketball story, like, bro, I remember being 13 playing against like mid 20 years old, 20-year olds, 30-year olds. There was this Sunday. On Sunday at this Gilbert Cuellar Elementary School. Again, I'm from Pleasant Grove. So I used to hoop at Cuellar a lot. This is elementary school out there. You can look it up. It's real. But Sunday, all of like the OGs, 30s and up would go there. And this was like 2005. I was 15. Sometime it was like from 2000. Yeah, 2005. And it was the most intimidating time. Like these are like grown ass men, bro. Like grills, they got the low riders in the school, right? Like by the basketball court. Obviously, you got your weed smoke and all that, and some of them are drinking alcohol, and it is very, very intimidating. Like you have to, if you're going to play, you cannot, bitch out, for lack of a better term. And it was like either it's a foul if there was blood, and if there's no blood, it's no foul. That's how they called it, bro. And that's why I learned like aggressive basketball there. So it was able to help me as I got older. But then the game changed; it became more finesse as I got older. Um, but man, I give all credit to. I love the game of basketball in general, but I give all credit to playing in Pleasant Grove, man. I learned so much from so many people, and uh, it was dope, man. It was dope. I would elaborate more on that story, but we ain't trying to bore the people,
Hey
man.
man, talk to me then about we moving on to last night, man. I want to hear you talk about last night. What was your experience like?
Let me ramble off a couple of comments right quick. We'll get there. Noah says, "How was Friday Night SmackDown? I was watching at home. I wish there was more dialogue at the ending segment. It felt like that whole segment was interesting." Yeah, bro. Yeah, I don't know what the hell Seth and Cody's interest was about, but I understand maybe it looked good on TV with that cliffhanger, but in the arena, it felt like we didn't get enough. The Rock said it was going to be the greatest SmackDown of all time. And it came nowhere near close to that. Homa Latte says start bench cut for Larry Div and Johnny B. Ooh, that's tough, man. On a basketball court or podcasting. That's tough. That's tough. I don't even know if I want to touch that one. Noah says I watched the Iron Claw a couple of days ago and good movie review on it. I watched it when the Mavs was on that losing streak. Then after that, oh my god, talking about sad, especially when Kerry died. Yeah, bro, that was a beautiful movie, but it's one of the saddest stories, especially in wrestling. Gina Kim says, "Hey TGK, how was SmackDown? I forgot they were going to be here. I would have gotten tickets. Did you see any of your favorite wrestlers?" Yeah, the segment with Cody, Roman Reigns, The Rock, and Seth Rollins. That was dope. And then after they went off air, we saw Jey Uso and Becky Lynch. That was pretty dope. Johnny B in the building. TGK. What up, Johnny B? We're gonna have to rehash our Jay Z and 50 Cent conversation, bro, when we get a chance. Let me see what other comments right quick we can knock out right quick, Chris. Jim Kim, do you think we still have a chance at to get the 60? The Suns have a really tough schedule and Book might be out a few games.
We'll look up the standings right now.
I ain't gonna lie. Like I know Jason Kidd won that game last night. We're gonna get into the whole Miami Heat game, but honestly, nothing has changed for me. Like one game is not gonna change my opinion. Yes, the Mavericks played amazing defense over the last 3 quarters, holding their opponent under 30 points. It was great. We saw it live, Chris, right? We saw them defending. They were fighting over picks. Like they looked very active. That's what I want to see consistently. Not when they feel like they need to do it because they're on national TV. I want to see it when they're not on national TV. So we need to get wins, and we got really some crazy opponents coming up after Detroit. They gotta lock in, man. They gotta lock in. I need to see more. I'm not. Jason Kidd's always gonna be the X factor until I see better consistency, and we're the epitome of inconsistency. Daniel, what's up? Daniel says, I'm still not convinced yet about our chances, but last night's win was a step in the right direction. Hopefully our consistency can be enough and we make the playoffs. See, Daniel, we're on the same page, bro. 1,000. Noah says, what a great collab from We Talk Mavs Slightly in Dallas Prospect. I slipped in, so I missed the live. I was listening to it while I was working, though. Yeah, same. I had to listen to it on the ride home, man. I still got to finish it, though. It was a great combo. Noah says, you done great on them Luka moves, and it's true that move is tiring. Even when I do it in 2K, it makes me dizzy. Yeah, that move is a pain, bro. Noah says, I heard you on playback last night that you don't like Eminem Recovery album. I think that's one of his best. So many bangers on that album, Paul. All right, so look. The only reason I don't like... Chris, are you an Eminem fan?
I don't actively listen to Eminem, but I'm
okay.
Fan, but I just don't go that deep, that hard with it.
All right, so I'll give you my nerdy response to Noah here. Relapse to me was so underrated, and if you listen back to it, it is a great album because of the content, because of the substance of the content. Um, I just felt he was very creative in that album. It was completely something different than Eminem does. And I understand the recovery angle, but he had Relapse too. I don't know if you knew. He had Relapse 2 ready to go. And instead of doing that, he did Recovery. I felt I felt like Relapse 2 was necessary to get the recovery. Like we didn't get the full Relapse, man. We got a little bit of Relapse. I just felt like Relapse was a great album. Then we got the complete opposite in Recovery, and like when you're giving me 3 a.m. Crack a Bottle, Beautiful, all these songs on one album, and then it feels like the complete opposite in direction and substance, and in the Recovery. I wasn't ready for that, man. I wanted another Relapse. That's what I wanted. Not physically for him. I just wanted the content. Colin says G Day TGK. AU getting Nico to write up that 10-day for you. Hey, Chris, what were you saying each time Josh Green got on the court?
What was I saying? Remind me.
Aussie, Aussie, Aussie.
Oh yeah, yeah. Sorry, sorry. I was like, what? What? Yeah, Aussie, Aussie, Aussie.
Oi, oi, oi. Yeah, man, it was hilarious. It was hilarious.
Yeah.
All right,
When Dante as well. So like, it's nice because you can do it for both players. So I'm actually scared to do it when Josh Green is shooting free throws, though. I'm scared, like, if he could hear it. I don't know. Dante, he's like unflappable, but yeah, that's a nice one. Aussie, Aussie, Aussie. When especially if you can get those guys to hear it, man, I bet you they'd get a kick out of it.
yeah, no, I try to participate in it and just try to be as loud as hopefully they could hear it, but I don't know if they did, but that would have been
Not last
hilarious.
night. Not last night. My voice was. I mean, like it's still recovering from Tuesday.
Yeah,
It's last night was rough, but I made it through, and I don't have another game I'm going to, or at least I don't have tickets for another game until the 21st
mm-hmm.
against Utah is my next one, so it's going to be a while. So I'll have time to recover. Hopefully the Mavs will roll off a bunch of wins. They should get the next three, right? Like, at least on paper.
Should
On paper,
should.
they should get the next three, because I'm looking at the standings right now, and yeah, New Orleans, Phoenix, and Sacramento are trying to separate themselves from Dallas, Golden State, and LA, where they were all pretty close, right? When the Mavs went on the 7-game win streak, everybody was bunched up, and it looked like Dallas kind of had maybe the inside lane to that 5 or 6 spot. And even some people were being like, oh, shit, I think they might be able to get the 4 spot from the Clippers. Like, we were so delusional on that
Yeah,
7-game win streak about what type of run we were about to go on. And that shit came crashing down so fast.
yeah.
Now, New Orleans, after their win tonight, I assume it's updated, is 3 games ahead of the Mavs. Like, it does not seem that long ago that we thought they were just going to blow by all those other bottom feeders, and that, like, top 6, here we come. And we were more worried about what our first round matchup was going to be, and oh, if we have to see Denver in the first round or the Clippers, like, yeah. And now we're just hanging by a thread. That is crazy. Like, that in 2 weeks or something like that. It hasn't been long. I
yeah.
know that.
Yeah, no, man. I was drinking the Kool-Aid too during that 7-game win streak, but that's just because we're fans, bro. At the end of the day, that's just because we're fans, and we're gonna eat that up, right? Pause. But it is what it is. Hey, us talk about the Miami Heat game, right? Real quick before we bring up people in here. So I might delay that till 11:40. Let's talk about the Miami Heat game. You want to talk? You want to start with the pregame show or the actual game?
I want your perspective. I want your perspective on you and I going to the game, and doing the IRL, and what your thoughts are.
All right. So for me, the IRL, if I had a critique, is that I should have asked for likes. I didn't ask for likes. All right. So listen. So if when you ask for likes, it's like that's how you build a show, right? So behind, it's not even behind the scenes. This is just YouTube lingo. You have to like ask for it because when you, even me as a watcher, sometimes I forget to watch someone's live. I mean, like someone's live, right? But if they remind you, like, oh shoot, let me go like it, right? It had 24 likes, right? And the previous pregame show was like at 30 or 40, something like that. So it kind of gave the illusion like no one liked it. When I know people like the live in real life pregame shows, right? So I was like, damn, did they not like this? You know what I'm saying? But I didn't ask, right? I didn't ask for the likes. But I felt me being a perfectionist when it comes to these lives, the audio. I wish I found a better way to make the audio better, and then also the video clearer. But when you're in that setting with 16,000 people with their cell phones and the signals, it's not gonna be perfect, right? It's not gonna be perfect, but I loved it, bro. But besides all that, besides like the analytical stuff and the business stuff, I loved it. Even though it was raining, we made the best of it. It was
Yeah,
very interactive.
the rain was tough. I
Yeah.
mean, like I mean, it was pouring ass rain when we got there, and for you to still find a way to go live, and like I got there a little bit late. I got the train schedule confused and caught it 30 minutes later. You were running late just because of the weather.
Mm-hmm.
So to be able to get it together and to get through security and to run into Missy and to see kind of just like the pregame introductions, it's not going to be perfect.
Right.
And now you've done two, so I'm sure you've learned stuff from both of
Mm-hmm.
them about maybe what you could do. But I think there's something to the aspect of interviewing people before the game, whether it's outside or whether it's inside,
Yeah.
and connecting with people. I know if I was watching the show, I'd be like, oh, because I go to a lot of Mavs games too, right? So
Mm-hmm.
games that I'm not at, I'd be like, oh shit, that's badass. They're talking to people at the game.
Right. Right.
So like, and I know sometimes what you think, you're like, oh, I would love that. So that means everybody would love that.
Mm-hmm.
But I think people really enjoy it. And if
Mm-hmm.
there's a way to make some improvements, and obviously you don't have to go to every game to do it, you can do a lot of stuff outside. They have a lot of parties outside for different games, fan appreciation day. I think there's a lot of opportunity to explore interviewing people at the game and connecting with Mavs fans and posting video. So I don't know if that's YouTube, if that's Twitter. Seem like stuff like that doesn't always do as good on Twitter, but maybe it's just because I don't have a lot of enough followers,
Yeah.
um, for videos to do anything, man. But I think it's a really good, fun, creative idea,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't see anybody else doing it. And I don't know what the legalities of are like the legalities behind recording like we were last night live streaming. I don't know that we were breaking any rules.
Nah.
But you
We're
just
no.
walk around and just act like you're supposed to be there, and nobody's gonna say shit most of the time.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's just creative and it's different. And I've said this to you before about there's a lot of content out there, right?
Mm-hmm.
And just like today at Collab, a lot of really good content, guys getting together. But there's a lot of Mavs content, and like you don't have to look far to find it.
Yeah.
And I think doing something that literally nobody else is doing,
Yeah.
I think is innovative, creative, and I think there's something there. And people, like even just the way people were looking at us walking around with the camera and the little
Oh man.
microphone, like just a lot of eyeballs. I think if you found a way to do it a couple more times, that it would like people would be even looking for you at the game a little bit,
Right.
type of thing where like it could become a thing to
Mm-hmm.
get interviewed by TGK on the pregame show. Like that would be pretty badass.
That would be pretty badass. Like, you know how they sometimes have like the whole desk outside and they have the pregame show with TNT out there. You know, in my head, I'm like, man, that'd be cool one day, like to have like a whole panel thing. But no, yeah, I think with the live IRLs, I enjoy them. I think the cool thing about it is there's literally no script. We had no script. We didn't talk about what the hell we were gonna do. We just got there and shot, and that's the whole point of in real life, right? This is in real life how these things go during the game. We got there. We showed you it was raining, so we had to make a pivot and adjust. I wanted to stay outside, and you were like, "We should go inside." So we went inside. Y'all got to see the whole security process, getting my phone back, and all that stuff. And then we went around. We sat at a desk that wasn't our desk or table, right? We made the best of it. We got to interview you. Someone asked like who you were, and you were able to elaborate on who you were, right? Then we interviewed a Miami Heat fan, blah blah blah. But the 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 beauty of yesterday was running into Missy. That was the beauty of it.
Absolutely, absolutely, and no disrespect to the other people that we interviewed.
Right.
But
Missy.
that's why I think it would be so much fun and people would love it is when you bump into somebody like Missy that's been a season ticket holder since 2009, also said that she will boo if the
Yep.
Mavs don't play well, and also said that she loves Jimmy Buckets, but they can get out of here with those 22 jerseys. Bam, Missy. She was so good, and running into people like that, even if it's not even doing it live, right? Because quality. So even if it's like interviewing a bunch of people and like, I mean, doing shorts, doing little clips of people. I just think there's an untapped kind of content right there that it really didn't hit me until we were at the game last night, where I was like, oh shit, I think there's more to this.
Yep.
And again, maybe live isn't it. Maybe there's a way to do some videos, TikTok, YouTube, Insta,
True.
whatever, where you're interviewing people, kind of like those videos with the mystery bags, right? When they're
Yeah.
walking up to people, it's a 45-second video.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah. Yeah.
fun. They edit it. Technology passed me
Or
by, so
or
I
or
don't
like
even
the
know.
guy on Sixth Street. Like the guy
But
on Sixth Street interviewing all the girls, asking them stupid questions while they're in drunk or whatever. I see where you going. But
and
yeah,
dude,
that
honestly, we didn't even get a chance to talk about this. So like, I'm not necessarily sure that this is like the platform to do it, but my mind was just going and thinking about it, man, and we're just sitting here having some fun and just thinking out loud, about some different things to do content wise.
yeah. Yeah, no. Overall though, I enjoyed it. You were a natural, bro. Like you were just being yourself. Like
I was a little tipsy, man. I was actually thinking about that. I'm like, in my mind, I think I'm better when I'm tipsy, but then like I look back at the video and I'm like, maybe not, man. Maybe just like sober and sharp and laser focused is a different thing, man. But it's just so much fun, and maybe part of the reason I'm even talking about doing the interviews with people is just like connecting with other fans. There's something there that's so much fun for me, and I
yeah.
think for a lot of people. So I didn't really know what to expect. You handed me the mic and then handed me the other little thing for it, and we just started going
Yep.
and had some fun with it. But the game itself, I mean, the energy before the game was not great. They got off to a terrible start, and it was thick in there. And for them to battle through that and come in with a clutch win in the fourth,
Yep.
that's why I'm saying the energy, the last like 3 or 4 minutes,
Was intense.
it's been a while since I've seen the building like that. And I don't go to every single game, but like that was so hyped, man. That video you
Yeah.
posted of Kyrie hitting that three off that tip
Ooh,
out, I mean, the place just absolutely
erupted.
erupted. And
Yeah,
so
and
being in the building like that, it's so pure and it feels so good, man.
yeah, I had went to the Thunder game and the atmosphere was crazy there, but closing that game against Miami, that was very intense. It was great. It was a great experience.
They
But
needed that win. We were
they
talking
needed
before
it.
the game, is this a must win? And for them to go, I mean, like, how much did they go down? 12, 15?
Yeah.
Well, what's the number? I mean, it was scary there for a minute, and for them to battle back, and for Kyrie to have that smile on his face in that post game interview,
Yeah.
just talk about how he's down for this team, and you love to see it because a lot of people, Mavs fans included, didn't think that Kyrie was a leader, and I suggested that he might bring some veteran leadership that this team desperately needs.
Yep.
Desperately needs a veteran leader on that team. I said, look, maybe it's just by example. I don't know if he talks to his teammates like that, but maybe just showing them how to be a professional and leading by example. But he's done that and more. And I think Kyrie is a leader on this team. I think they need other guys to step up and lead as well. But man, just a great win last night. And now you look at the schedule and it's like, shit, we could win 4 in a row and then head into some tough games. Maybe we get something going here. Dante Exum looked fantastic. Dante Exum is a utility player, and
Yep.
nobody uses that in the NBA. I don't know that I've ever called a guy a utility player because that's like baseball term, a guy that just kind of does everything. But I mean, that's Dante Exum. I love
Yep.
to say He doesn't do anything great, but he does everything good.
Yup.
And he's a winner. And you see the videos of the atmospheres that he used to play in, bro. I want Dante Exum getting minutes when the game counts. At least from what I've seen from him so far, and based on the options on this roster, I love seeing Dante Exum in a closing lineup like he was yesterday.
Yeah, no, he did an amazing job, man, and we definitely needed that. I just need to see more from Kid, man. I don't want to get too hyped off of a win. I just need to see more from Kid. It is 7:40 though, so I am going to make a quick announcement. I see we got 55 people from Twitter watching. Salute to y'all. I don't
Okay,
know.
Twitter.
I don't know if everyone is from the viral video. Welcome. Appreciate you whether you're here to wait for a Lucas stinker or not. You're welcome here. I'll take all slander or all praise. It don't matter, bro. We're all human at the end of the day. I actually go outside, right? Everything doesn't exist on Twitter. So if you here on Twitter though, I appreciate you. You can leave comments, whatever you want to do. If you actually want to jump onto this show, then I'm about to put the link in the comments on the YouTube. Go to YouTube, leave a like on the YouTube. Anyone that's on watching through YouTube, leave a like as well. It goes a long way. But I'm about to post the link so you could jump on here, ask me questions, bring up a topic you want to talk about, whatever the case may be. We can talk about my dumb video, or we can talk about Maverick stuff. Whatever y'all want to talk about, man, I'm about to post it now. So appreciate y'all being here. And in the meantime, while we wait for people to file in, let me read some comments, man. Gina Kim says, I was worried about people using you to make fun of Luca, but then I remembered Luca doesn't have stinkers, and he barely has bad games. It only took a day for them to use Dominican Tatum. Yeah, man, it is what it is, Gina. Like, my Twitter page is actually monetized for whatever that's worth. I'm gonna see how much you make off of what 3 million impressions. I have no idea, but I doubt it's like, you know, I don't know. I don't even know what to expect. We'll see. We'll see. We shall see. Hold on. We got a guest coming in. We about to introduce him. This is Midnight Mavness. What's up,
Hey y'all, what up,
Noah?
y'all? What up, y'all?
What's up, man? How you
What's up,
doing?
man? Good, good.
What you got for us, bro? What's up, man?
Listen, man. I'm. Uh, I want to be confident, but I mean, just I don't trust Jason Kidd, man. I still have doubts, and I know we're playing the Pistons, but the Pistons have been playing pretty well. They just can't close games.
Yep.
So I mean, so I wouldn't
Uh,
I would be disappointed if we lose, but I wouldn't be surprised if we lose, because we lost to Philly without Embiid. So
Hey, hold on, Big J. I saw you jump on there. Come back, bro. Come back. I was finna add you. I want to introduce y'all. But yeah, Pistons, man. You know what I'm worried about the Pistons? Jalen Duran. Yeah, that's like Duran, right? Jalen Duran. That dude's a monster. But I don't know if y'all seen the Pistons play much, but Jalen Duran he's nice, man. He's nice. Quit. We can't be sleeping on Jalen Duran. But I ain't gonna lie. I haven't been seeing much of the other Pistons, but it is very much a big time game tomorrow. Like, you lose that one,
hey, mom.
everything you did against Miami just goes out the window. Everything you're doing now just continues to go out the window. We don't have Derek Lively playing tomorrow, so now you're down a center. Are we gonna see Dwight Powell tomorrow? How you feel about that, Noah? You want to see Dwight Powell tomorrow? You're on mute, Noah. By the way. All right, I'll pose a question to
no, he don't
Chris.
want to see D. Oh no, that nobody's gonna say yes to that question. Hey, look, something just real interesting is I
What's
was
up?
looking at what the line is for the Detroit game, and
Mm-hmm.
I thought I saw earlier that the Mavs were like 9.5 or 8.5 point favorites, and it looks like the game did open at 9.5, and now it's down to 7.5. So for a line
Oh,
to move 2 points, I don't know a ton about Vegas, but I know if a line moves 2 points, that there's a shit ton of money coming in on the other side. So I think a lot of sharps were like, bro, the Mavericks are not 9.5 points better than anybody, especially on the road.
yeah.
And that means they piled money on the Pistons at plus 9.5 and moved that 2 points.
Yeah, that's crazy. What's up, Big J?
What's going on, man?
How you doing, bro? How you doing?
I'm making it. I'm making it. I saw the game. I got to see the live show earlier today too. I saw you was working, so you didn't get to get in there.
Yeah, man. I was. I get FOMO, man. I get FOMO when it comes to like just being a part of like the Mavs community. So I was just there like having to wait, just wait, just wait. So
Right.
I got to watch the last 20 minutes though.
Now I was at the office too, so I couldn't hop on. But
Yeah. I just thought it was a big moment, man. It was a big moment to have someone of like slightly stature now. You know, he's with Locked On Mavs. You know, to have someone that big collaborate with other channels, I think it's dope. I think it's a great thing. Then having like an OG like DDP be in there as well. And then we talk Mavs. Like it was just a beautiful thing to watch, man. I ain't gonna lie.
oh
Not
yeah,
not to overhype it, but I was just happy for all of them. To be
no, it
honest.
was definitely cool.
Yeah. So what's on your mind, man? What you got? What you thinking? What's up?
Man, I heard you earlier, and I kind of agree. Like, Kid hadn't really shown me anything yet. Everybody's kind of, trying to be all happy about it, but I still didn't like the fact that I saw THJ and Maxi on the floor at the same time. I think neither one of them should play more than 15 minutes and never at the same time because they're two defensive liabilities right now. And like I said, if their offense ain't popping, then they give you nothing.
Yep.
So it's we got other players we could play, and that's what we need to do. But the kid hadn't really shown me anything. I think he showed he was scared that last game, and so he played. He tightened up, but I don't think he's learned anything yet.
I'm glad you said that because uh, uh, now that Chris got the headset on, Chris, what did I say when Kleba and TAJ come into the game? Do you remember?
You're gonna have to remind me, man. Like I saw last night, most of it, but not every detail.
All right, so if y'all remember the first game we were getting torched. I mean the first quarter we were getting torched, right? Big J, we were getting killed.
Hmm.
And instead of like putting in defensive people or keeping defensive people in there, he put in Cleveland THJ. Oh my God, I was so mad, bro. In that arena, I was so mad, man. I was like, what are we doing, man? So I think for the most part, he kept Kleba. I don't think he had Kleba out there as a solo center much or at all. I like the. What did you think of the lineup change though, Big J? Like when you saw Derrick Jones Jr. and Gaffer starting, what was your immediate thought when you saw that?
I thought that I think those two are great together because I think both are great defenders, and I think with Luca and Kyrie, you need that, and especially like I said, with either of the big centers we got, we're fine with those two at the wing as long as they're hitting their shots. If
Mm-hmm.
they're not hitting their shots, both of them can penetrate. So that's the other benefit of both of those guys. They don't just have to stand still and take threes. They can both put the ball on the court and go in the paint.
Yep. Yeah. I was telling Chris at the time. I was like, we saw the lineup, and he was like, yo, that's Gafford and that's Derrick Jones. Like, no way, like that's the starting lineup. He was like, yeah. I was like, you know what? I appreciate the fact that Jason Kidd's trying. Like,
Yep,
he's trying.
absolutely. I mean, because
Like,
it surprised us,
yeah.
and obviously we were doing the show, so I didn't even look at the starting lineup, and I rarely do when I go to a game. I just show up, and who's ever in the lineup is in the lineup. That's usually how I find out. But we looked up, and I was pleasantly surprised that at least trying something to see, and it sucks that it got to the point where he was getting national media pressure about how bad the team was playing before he was like, oh, let me try a little different starting lineup and see if we can get a spark.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And they did come out a little. It's not like they came out flat. Well, they did come out flat defensively. It was one, the Heat weren't missing anything,
You
but
kept saying
also there was
they're not missing anything.
they're not missing anything, bro. Even the shots that they guarded pretty well, they were still making them. And then they had really easy cut, like backdoor cuts to the basket,
Hmm.
like just easy cuts. I was like, what is going on? Like, is this team literally giving up on Jason Kidd? And then the second quarter, third quarter, fourth quarter, defense, like the intensity was up. They were fighting through every screen. Luca here and there did, but it was Luca having a 35-point triple double. Chris, you watching the game with me at the stadium was one thing. Big J, did y'all feel the 35 points through the screen?
You know, Lucas. Like I was telling a friend of mine who was at the game last night too, because he had never seen Luka in person, and I'm like, I said, we're spoiled because he's actually a Golden State fan. I said, we're spoiled because I said if Luka puts up 38 on a given night, we're bored. We're like, oh, he had an off game.
Yeah.
I said, but and he was like, yeah. He said he was sitting there watching. He said it didn't look like anything until he said he looked up at the stats and he was like, man, he had 35 points and 10 and 10. He was like, that's crazy. I'm like, yeah, that's what he does every night.
Yeah. And it's so seamless. It's so seamless. Like it's like I think of the moments that he had the three over Jimmy Butler, the wide open three assist from Exum. Those shots were the ones that stuck out like a sore thumb, and the other shots is just like he had to force his way to the basket, get a nice little easy layup. It just I think with Luka, you're so used to like every single play almost looking like a top 10 Sports Center play that you're looking for those as opposed to the dirty work buckets, right? And
he's brilliant. He's absolutely brilliant. And I know what you're saying. How like you can watch a game like last night and even just be like, damn, okay, it was not a quiet 35. I don't know if that's the right term to use, but kind of somewhere there where like he just like he grinded out 35 and 10 and 11, whatever the final numbers were. But looking back on the game and just kind of thinking, he's just brilliant. He's so much fun to watch play. And if you watch basketball for any amount of time and seen different players, I mean, it's beauty. It's just such a joy to watch this man play basketball. And what a treat to see a performance like last night in a game that, okay, let's be honest, maybe wasn't a must win, but it certainly felt like it was a must win.
No, it was.
That 1 hour, Luka to just be brilliant again. We are spoiled. We are absolutely spoiled. Luka is phenomenal.
Yep. Hey,
Yeah,
go ahead, bro. Go ahead.
Okay, no, I was going to say the crazy thing was, I was kind of giving the analogy earlier that, Luka's the way he scores is not the same way, but I mean the volume that he scores, that it's like how Jordan was. Jordan would average like 34, 35 points a game. And when they asked him about it, he said it's only 8 points a quarter. And I'm like, when you think about it, it's not that much. That's kind of how Luka, he don't have these big explosions all the time, but he just constantly hit like 2 to 3 points, here and there. And it's like, boom, all of a sudden you see he's got 8 points this quarter, 8 points next quarter. He may have 20 in the first half. And then he gets his stuff, but it's in the flow of the game. He's not necessarily trying to jack up and force stuff.
That's a real good point. Because now I think of it, like when you're playing like 25, like at your local basketball court, 25 by 2s and 1s, all right? If it was like 3s and 2s, is that like a double of 25, like 50? I'm assuming.
Yeah.
You get one extra point, right? So like in a game of 25 that could go for like 20 minutes, 30 minutes, right? Someone's scoring up to 50 points, like, and it looks normal in there, in theory, because you're just going to 25 by 2s and 1s as opposed to 50 by 2s and 3s. But it's a great point. 8 points per quarter don't seem like a lot, but at the end of it, you're like, damn, it's 30, 32? 32 points.
Yeah, but who averages that? I mean, most people don't average it, but it's just.
That's what I told myself in high school. I was convinced when I got to high school playing ball, it's like 4 points a quarter. Like I could average 16. I can get 2 buckets a quarter. And then you get out there in some high school basketball and find out, damn, 16 maybe. You got to work hard. You got to work hard to get 2 buckets a quarter.
Maybe 2 buckets a game, Hey, Big J, I saw you comment this. He says, start Div, bench Larry, cut J. I don't know what it referencing to. Like,
somebody asked that question earlier. Asked that question earlier,
Yeah, I saw that. I don't know. From what perspective, that's what I was trying to figure out.
I think they were talking about from the podcasting perspective, because I know they like to have those controversial takes, but sometimes they do get a little carried away and take over.
Yeah. Nah, I get you. Colin
yeah.
says, TGK, I can see where your love for the game and Mavs come from. Keep up the content. Enjoy the ride, man. Hey, thank you, Colin. Thank you as always. Man, it's like, what time is it over there in Australia? I think he said it'd be like I think it's morning time over there right now.
Aussie.
Oi, oi, oi. Jenny Kim says, do y'all actually think Luka is still fat? I'm tired of them slandering my young GOAT. He's in much better shape this season and well conditioned. Joker is the same way. It's just their Euro buzz. Yeah.
Are people slandering him for being heavy again? I haven't seen it.
No.
Yeah.
I've seen people reacting to it.
They are waiting for him to have a bad game so they can use my video as a way to say that's Luka. Because I'm out of shape and big, right? So that's what they're waiting for. So Luka's in shape, bro. He's in shape.
I wasn't even thinking that, because you're the homie and stuff. But like,
yeah,
I could see somebody trolling if Luka looked heavy, and then want to use the video.
Yeah. And they're saying like, hey, nice handles, nice footwork, nice. You made the shot, but we're gonna use this as Luka slander. Like, all right, I guess whatever suits your, whatever suits you, bro. Do you?
And I can't stand the narrative that's been going around lately. Like I've been seeing a lot of people saying all of a sudden that Luka can't win when he dominates the ball or he does his dribble. I think there was a former Mavs player that called out Luka. I don't know if you guys heard it.
Chandler, I am glad you said that, bro. I am so glad you said that.
I'm like, bro, who is he?
Hold on. I'm so glad you said that because We Talk Mav sent it to me, and I was like, you know what? This man just gave me content tonight. Hold on. I was supposed to have this queued up. Yep. Yeah, it was Mr. Chandler Parsons talking reckless. Where the hell is it at?
He did get his name back out there, and sometimes, and I'm not saying it was premeditated, but at the same time, nobody's been talking about Chandler Parsons' ass for a long time. And now we got his name back out there today. Not for good reasons, but, press is press, right?
All right, here we go. I think I found it. Yeah, I found it. Here it goes.
He went to the Western Conference Finals dominating the ball, so who says he can't go to the finals? That just makes no sense.
Yeah, it's not like he already made it to the finals. Here it goes. Let me share this clip with y'all so we can all see what the hell this man said. I didn't hear what he said, right? So people were pretty upset. So let's all listen to this. I don't know. Has anyone seen this clip other than you?
No.
Yeah, I saw like a paragraph, like read it.
No, okay, I watched the whole clip a couple times, buddy.
All right, let's check it out.
I think he's an unbelievable talent. He is literally a guard version of Jokic where he can do everything. He's mesmerizing with the basketball. But as a teammate, it's a little exhausting watching the same shit over and over again. And then when you don't win, it's even magnified. Like, okay, can we try something else? Can I maybe get the ball? Like, you know what I mean? So it definitely can be frustrating.
Look at Shams' face. Look at Shams' face. Shams trying to keep a straight face.
Like, observations. Yes. I care. By the way, I'm glad you said that, Chandler, because I woke up and I saw a bunch of tweets. Right. He's right. And people are like, get Luka some help. I'm like, why? Even if they were there, he does it by himself. Like I find this argument to be so confusing at times because I love watching Luka play.
Yeah, he's got help this year. This is the best team I think he's been on. Wise, they go 8, 9, 10 deep. He's got the team. Use them. I take the most shots, play the most minutes, have the most assists and triple doubles. Do what Jokic does. But find a way to do it to keep everybody happy and to win games. That's the biggest thing. He's going to he's going to put up stats no matter who's his teammate, no matter what team he's on. He's going to average 30. He's going to average 10. He's going to average around 6 or 7 rebounds, whatever. He's going to get his numbers. To be able to do that and win at the same time is when Luka Doncic will take the next step.
All right.
I think he's an unbelievable talent. He's literally
Big J, sound off. Sound off, Big J. Let me give you the
so it's a dumb take because anybody who actually watches the game and when you see Luka's he's in the top 3 or 4 in assists per game right now. So it's not like he's just hogging the ball. He's trying to get him involved. And like I brought up a couple of weeks ago, I think on We Talk, one of the members on the show, Luka had over, and this was a few weeks ago, Luka had over 400 uncompleted assists, where he passed it and they just missed the shots. But he was number 1 in the league in uncompleted assists. So if you look at that, he had probably another 4 assists a game, somewhere in that range. No, more than that, about 6 to 7 assists a game if they hit those shots. So he's trying to share the ball. They're just not complete. And the thing is, they stand around and watch. They're not trying to initiate, because even when he passes the ball, a lot of times what they do, they give it right back.
Yep.
Well, I think interesting. I'm surprised that I didn't remember the Chandler Parsons thing and that we didn't bring it up earlier. Shame on us for not getting to it sooner.
No, that's perfect. That's perfect. We got everybody here.
So much to unpack with it. But I immediately thought about something that Dorian Finney-Smith said in an interview, I don't know how long ago, where he said sometimes it's hard to not be in the flow of the game and to kind of just be standing there and to stay locked in, right? So, like, I think, yes, it's a dumb take by Chandler Parsons overall and that it's kind of lazy, but at the same time, there's some things that he said in there that maybe he just didn't say it the right way, but might be some legitimate criticism, and that it could be difficult to have a guy, Remember I told you I played with Kid Ridiculous back in church league, and get ready because my man's out there balling. I could see it being difficult just standing in the corner sometimes, which that's probably more scheme than anything, because why is Jason Kidd not being innovative and moving guys around? But my point is, I don't think it's probably easy to play with Luka if you're standing around and you're not in the flow of the game. And that sometimes a guy that maybe isn't mentally tough enough, I hate to say it, maybe a guy like Josh Green that clearly doesn't stay engaged a lot of the time and does disappear at times. And that might be a byproduct of playing with somebody like Luka, that it is difficult to have the right mindset, to stay laser focused, and to be ready when you need to be ready. If that makes sense.
Yeah, I got a little rebuttal for that from I guess a mental perspective as a basketball player, But no, what did you think of that clip right quick before I rebuttal?
Oh my goodness. So like, if they actually watch Mavs games, every time Luka gives them the ball, they lose the ball or they turn you over. Even PJ has he has a bad handle so far. He just got here, but he loses the ball a lot. So I want to have Luka dominate the ball and give like players wide open shots, and they just miss it. So like, and that comparison, Jokic actually has players that can create their own shot. MP, Michael Porter Jr., Aaron Gordon, Jamal Murray, Luka. I mean Kyrie. That's about it.
Mm-hmm.
Josh Green loses it a lot. PJ, Tim Hardaway Jr. No. Exum, I mean, yeah, but I mean that's about it. So I can live with Luka dominating the ball and he's still assisting. So
yeah, like for Luka's assists, like majority of the time, right? If you look at his assists, he is setting up the player as perfect as he could set him up, right? If so I'm answering two things here. I'm answering Chandler Parsons' crazy take, and then Chris's take about sitting in the corner. For me, I would love to just sit in the corner, be wide the hell open, and shoot threes. Like, sign me up, And maybe I'm speaking from that perspective because up until maybe a year and a half ago, I was like a ball dominant type of player on the court, and it gets tiresome when you have to be defended by the best defensive player in the court, and then for the most part defend the best offensive player. It's tiring. Like I want someone else to like handle the rock. Give me wide open shots. So I look at it a little bit differently. But again, these guys are young. You know what I'm saying? They want the ball. They want to go score. But do we have those capable scorers? I don't think we do like that. I don't think we have like a third guy that we know. Here's the ball. Go get a bucket. I think PJ's
Hardy not at least getting minutes, because we all think that he is. Some of us think he's there, and maybe he's not, and that's just how it is, whatever. But a lot of people think that that's who he's going to become, a guy that can get you a bucket when you need a bucket, and a guy that's tough to defend.
Here's the only issue for Hardy is that you already have Kyrie, right? You already have another guard that could go get his bucket. Like you need a wing or a forward that could go get his own bucket.
We
That's
had
what
that,
it. Yeah, you did have that,
and they got
and
rid of him.
like idiots, or as Richard the K says it, as kidiots. You had it. Like it. Let me ask this: imagine Christian Wood on this team. I don't even know. I don't even want to imagine it, but
Oh
imagine a
my
lineup where
goodness.
Christian Wood's involved from an offensive perspective to alleviate a Luka, alleviate a Kyrie, whatever the case may be in spurts, because he did do it. Let's not say he
Hmm.
didn't. He did do it. He went on a 7 game winning streak with us when he was starting, averaging 20 points, 7 rebounds, and I believe almost 2 blocks a game.
Long ago.
Hmm.
Oh,
Oh
But
years.
what did we do?
We
Ego,
got rid
bro.
of him and badmouthed him on the way
Yeah,
out the door.
badmouth him. So not to get too far away from Chandler Parsons. Chandler Parsons, not to be so negative on him. He was never available for us, you know. And he was a bag chaser. He wasn't a ring chaser. So when he talks about getting other teammates involved, it sounds very similar to what Gilbert Arenas be saying. It's all about
Dude,
buckets.
Gilbert's wild with it, dude.
It's all about buckets for them. It's not about winning. And I think Josh Green said it best a couple of months ago when he talks about like sacrificing for your teammates. It's not about getting buckets and this and that. And I know he's not a bucket getter like that, but that's what it's about. When you're playing with someone like a Luca, really you just he's gonna find you. You gotta bust your ass defensively and get a bucket when you could get that easy bucket that he's gonna feed you, and you gonna win. If it's about winning, Luca could get you there. Yes, you could change the schemes and get the ball to other people's hands. That's what he was doing. Chris, we saw the game. I don't know how it looked like on TV, but when Luca got the ball, he gave it up for them to bring it up the court, and then yeah, he'll ask for it on a post up play or off of a screen. But he's letting someone else dribble it. And when you get to dribble the ball, that's just as good as a shot to me because at least you get the feel of a dribble, the feel of a ball in your hands. Pause. So instead of Luka just dribbling it up all the time, he's giving it up and then coming back to it. So they're making a slight adjustment there. But Chandler Parsons is crazy for that.
Well, hold on. Just real quick, an observation that drives me absolutely wild is when, because Jason Kidd, in my opinion, is not a smart enough head coach to do it the right way. They let Luka come up without the ball. Sometimes it's a struggle for the other guy or who's ever bringing it up, but whatever, they get it across, and then they just run some sort of action where Luka comes and runs up to the top. Sometimes they waste 14 seconds off the clock, and then yes, that's less wear and tear on Luka. But then Luka gets it at the top of the key with 10 seconds on the clock, and that is literally their offensive possession. Is just dribble up, 10, 12 seconds, give it to Luka at the top of the key, and then let Luka do his thing. Like, that's not creative. That's not innovative. When you think of cutting edge offenses and movement, you don't think of Jason Kidd. And I don't like the way that they're doing it. There's so many other coaches that would do it differently and would run some different action as this person's dribbling the ball up. But they don't have the coaching staff to do it correctly.
No,
You know,
that's a solid point.
I was gonna
Go
say,
ahead,
I was
Big J.
also thinking of something too. Is everybody keeps talking about running the three guard lineup with Luca, Kyrie, and Exum, but I think Exum should be the first sub in with one of those two, so that there's always one of them on with Exum, or if the Kyrie and Luca aren't on together, have Exum on with them because he can do, like you said, some of what the other one can do. He can pass, he can dribble, he can create. But he can cut to the rim himself. But the thing is, he's not terrible ball handler. He's not going to get you in trouble with dumb decisions.
Yeah, Big J, you took the words out of my mouth from like 2 months ago, when Exum was having that big stretch when Kyrie was out.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, I want Exum at the three, and this is when Derrick Jones Jr. was still really really good. I was like, I want Exum at the three. The reason for that, I want two of those guys in the game at all times.
Mm-hmm.
And you could start with them and you could end with them, but I want two of those guys in the game at every single time because I don't ever want Tim Hardaway Jr. to be running offense. Hell no.
No.
At all. Josh Green, you give him a couple possessions. I'm cool. Jaden Hardy, I'm more confident with him getting a couple possessions. But in general, I want the offensive scheme and everything to work through like 77% through Exum, Kyrie, and Luka. And then the other percentages, PJ could get the majority of the extra possessions that's left available. I like Gafford down low. I think I think he's really savvy down there. Just and when he has leverage, I think he's really good down there. Actually, I think Exum fed him one, and he wouldn't got a bucket against. I think it was Bryant. He just manned him up at an angle, got a good layup. I'm very impressed by Gafford. I wish they played him more, but kid had to take 5 out of 6 losses to figure that out. But no, I love the Exum, Kyrie, and Luka three-headed monster. I hope that is a thing moving forward. But I know they started DJJ. But
let me ask
two
you,
of the three got to be in at all times.
Let me ask you a quick question that'll lead into another question of what do you think a starting lineup should be if you're a head coach. But do you think that there's anybody on the Mavs coaching staff? Like, I know there's these advanced websites you can go to, and I'm sure they have all the numbers of like what are the best combos, like what are the best plus minuses on the Mavs, what 5-man lineup. I see people going on that website or whatever where you can look and see like what's the best 5-man lineup, what's the best 3 together, like who plays well together. Do you think there's anybody on the staff that's looking at any numbers like that, analytics, and saying, hey, what does our best lineup look like? Or do you think like that Jason Kidd, even if somebody's looking at those numbers, is it influencing anything? Do you think Jason Kidd and his staff care about such numbers?
I think Kidd gets fed the information. I just think Kidd, and outside looking in, I just think Kidd goes off of his own gut. He's very stubborn in that way. So I just think he goes away. He thinks is going to work in today's NBA.
You nailed it. It's like this stubborn, old school, the way that he treats players and plays some of them and not others based on reasons he says in the media that don't actually line up with how he plays other guys and just is completely contradicting himself. I don't have a lot of faith that he's looking at like, hey, what do the analytics say is the best 5-man lineup? How do these 3 guys play together? How does the team play when these guys aren't in this lineup and trying to figure it out? I just don't understand it. If you were the head coach, and this is for everybody on here, what would your starting 5 be? Do you put Exum in the starting 5 with Lively, and then who do you add? Like, give me your breakdown. Who's your starting 5 for the Mavericks right now?
Luka, Kyrie, Tim Hardaway Jr., Max Kleber.
Ban him.
You said Tim Hardaway very confidently there.
Bro, put in Dwight Powell. I don't even care anymore.
Big J. Oh, go ahead.
Sorry,
Noah.
but I can't stand the lineup that Kid does. I can't stand when he does this. It's like every at the beginning of the first quarter, he always subs Kyrie out for Tim Hardaway Jr. Can't stand when he does that. Like 2 minutes go off in the first quarter and he subs Kyrie out. Like I don't know why he does that. And if he when he does do that, at least sub in Exum or Hardy when he does that, because we was down like 21-7 against Miami and he subs out Kyrie for Tim Hardaway Jr. I mean I can't stand when he does that.
He does that to stagger him. Because he always wants to have Kyrie or Luka. So like his game plan is so basic. He's like, I guess I just got to have one of them on the floor at all times. So he subs out Kyrie so that he could sub Luka. And how many minutes have they played in a game where one of them's on the court if the game's still in the balance?
I want to respond to this one comment. I'm gonna get the other comments too, but I want to respond to this one specifically because I love this topic here. And it's a Twitter comment too, so salute. Bill Ding says, issue with Gafford is he plays drop. He is not comfortable guarding the space so hard to play him at times. Here's my little pushback here, right? If he does struggle to play drop, which there is obvious evidence that he does, right? But there's obvious evidence that he could chase down a block and recover. My only rebuttal to this is in 21 minutes with Gafford, what is he going to give you versus 21 minutes from Maxi Kleba? Is being able to defend the perimeter that much, is it so important to the point where 5 offensive rebounds for potentially from Gafford is not good enough to play him? You get what I'm saying? Like, Kleber's going to give you probably 1 rebound, maybe 1 to 2 points in 21 minutes, but he's going to guard in perimeter, right, and still get beat. Versus Gafford, there's no difference in the perimeter defense because Kleber's not stopping anybody. Gafford isn't either, right? But Gafford's going to give you about 2 to 3 offensive boards. He's going to get you a double double if you play him enough minutes. Like, he's giving you a punch on the opposite end. So my only thing with that is, I get there's one thing we don't, or majority of people that don't like Gafford don't like, that he plays drop coverage and he struggles in that. But I don't think Jokic is a perimeter defender. I think he plays drop. I think Rudy Gobert plays drop. Y'all want to name me some other centers that start for a good team and they play drop? I think Giannis play. I think he guards up a little bit.
Yeah, he can guard in space.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure there's other centers I can't even think of that play drop, and they're pretty successful because.
Oh, you talking about Lopez?
Yeah.
Yeah, Lopez can't guard anybody in space, but But to what you were saying, well, I was what you were saying to GK. That's when you play Kleber.
Yeah.
Play Kleber with Gafford.
Yeah.
So Gafford can still patrol the paint, and they can funnel people to him. So if you get beat by your man, he can sit there in the paint and then clean all that up for you. Makes everybody's life easier.
Yep. And play to the player's strength, right? Just because he has a weakness here, this is where it comes down to coaching. This is my biggest issue. If you as a coach can identify that he has an issue, and instead of being able to scheme a way around it to help him be able to stay out there, you're going to bench him instead and only playing 6 minutes, that's because you as a coach, you do not know how to be able to maximize Gafford's strengths. And his strengths could be something that puts teams in foul trouble. Like, if you got to go 5 out to match their small ball, all right, put Gafford in there. What's going to happen? And if you give him the ball down low, they're going to foul him. What happens when a team gets in a bonus early? They start playing less aggressive. What happens when defenses play less aggressive? Luka and Kyrie start cooking because they're not being all handsy and hand checking, right? They get easier possessions because they're not trying to foul and give up free throws or get fouled out. That's where, as a psycho as I think Kid can be, as maniacal and all these key phrases, a cerebral, right? I don't think he's cerebral enough to think of these things in those minute details to think of, like, all right, if they want to go small, let's go big instead of matching him. Like, he always adjusts to the team and never utilizes his strength against a team's weakness. Like, it's those things that does tick me off as a fan, because I should not ever think I'm smarter than a coach. It should never be that.
Well, I think you make a great point about Gafford and what his strengths are. And I think you could literally break down like almost every player on this roster and say, is Jason Kidd and this coaching staff putting these players in the best position to be successful, right? Like, I was a catch and shoot guy. So if you put me in a bunch of catch and shoot situations, I'm going to play really well. If I get 1 or 2 dribbles, maybe 3 dribbles, and then like PJ Washington, right? I like that he can put it on the ground and he can get that little floater in the lane. But if you make him dribble too much, he's going to get in trouble. So let's put Gafford and PJ Washington and Josh Green and Jaden Hardy, and even Missy is talking about Tim Hardaway Jr. His role's changed a bunch. Like, are they putting these guys in the position to be successful? And I think the overwhelming response is going to be no, right? Putting Maxi Kleber in situations to just set him up for failure, and doing that to a lot of guys on this team. And it's tough to watch. It's tough to watch some of these lineups and some of these switches that he makes.
Yeah. You said that very, very well, bro, because you see the comment below. What does the comment below say? It says, Kid is confused on how trade-offs work. Maxi's average perimeter defense is not worth trading off Gafford's interior defense and rebounding.
Mm-hmm.
Perfectly said. Perfectly said. Like that's my biggest thing. That is my biggest thing
Now look,
with
I don't know that it would work, but we talked about it last night. Have they even tried Gafford and Lively in any lineup together? And now look,
No.
maybe people are going to cook me because I'm an NBA casual, and they'll be like, that would never work because the NBA at this level. Look, I don't know. Have they tried it to just be like, man, that would be so tough for any other team to match up with? Like, what the hell? Let's see. Just lob from Luka. I don't know. Maybe it doesn't work.
I think you'd have spacing problems because neither one of them can consistently step out and stretch. But I think that's what I was saying. If you were going to do, back to your first question as far as the lineups, I think if we do the Luka, Kyrie, DJJ, Gafford, and like Lively to start, you have three bigs basically that can move around on the perimeter, can guard on the perimeter, because Lively's a little bit better moving around and guarding in space. But all three of those can also get blocks for you as well. Mm-hmm. So I think that gives you a little bit more dynamic lineup on the front on the start. But then if you put Gafford and Maxey in with Maxey at the 4, and then like I said, maybe you throw Omax at the 3 or something like that, where you can once again have three guys who can guard, well, two of them guard in perimeter, funneling to Gafford. And then, like I said, either have Exum and if you want to, swap out all five, have Exum and Hardy as your two ball handlers, setting the rest of those guys up. And I think you have a team that can play, but it's a matter of Kid putting them in position to be successful. Because what I told the guys before on We Talking, I think me and I talked to you, TGK, about it. That when I talked to some of the guys in the Mavs office before, I talked about like the way you guys are playing players, you make us hate our own players. Cause I said at the beginning of the year, we all hated Dwight Powell. Well, some still. But it's like because you put him in a situation to fail to where when I see him step on the court, I hate seeing him step on the court. Same thing now with Maxey. Same thing now with Timmy. Because you're exposing all the weaknesses. You're not maximizing the strengths.
Gosh, that is such a fantastic point. And I think, again, it just goes back to putting people in a position to be successful. People might not believe this, but like I feel bad when Tim Hardaway Jr. gets booed. Even I'm at the game, TGK last night, he misses a jumper. I yell, sub. Like, that's uncomfortable on a whole bunch of different levels, and it's funny, and it's a good troll in my opinion. But like, I like Tim Hardaway Jr. As a person, he seems like a good dude. He's had some amazing moments at AAC and in a Mavs uniform.
He has a pretty jumper. Ooh.
Yeah, yep. Gosh, I mean, like,
girls love him.
For the crowd to be booing him like that sucks. It sucks that people hate Maxey and Dwight because they've been put in such a terrible position and get exposed exactly like you're saying. And the same thing is Mark Cuban has set up this culture and put a lot of people in a lot of bad positions. And gosh, man, I've never heard anybody articulate it like you just did. But that is such a good point that a lot of Mavs fans, okay, some of them get joy, but I don't think a lot of people are really getting too much joy out of Tim Hardaway Jr. struggling like he is and getting booed at the game.
And if I see this tomorrow, I swear, if we start doubling in the first quarter, we start doubling like Ivy, Kate Cunningham, I swear, man. Just play one-on-one.
The doubling players you could handle ISO. Oh, that's another good point. 2 points I got for y'all. Chris, do you remember this? I know the people at the house, they don't show at the house they don't show you the intros, right? But in the intros, whenever they announce all the players, cheers, right? Cheers, claps for Kyrie and Luka. They get the biggest ovation. But when they got the coach Kidd, did you hear what happened, Chris?
Yes. Now, I just want to go on record to say that I was not one of the people booing Jason Kidd at the introductions. I'm not saying I haven't done it before, maybe multiple times, but I didn't do it last night. And I actually watched the live stream back to see if you could hear the fans in our section because it's not like super loud.
Yeah.
But it was more than probably 50 people spread out, maybe 100. Like you heard people booing J Kidd, and it was noticeable.
Yeah, it was weird because everyone's getting cheered, and then they say, "And head coach Jason Kidd," and then you're, "Whoa!" And I'm like, "What? Like, there's sickos in here, you know? Like, we really got hardcores in." Here's a criticism with the Mavs games: it don't feel like there's hardcore Mavs fans in the building. At times, they just sometimes it does feel like people just go there to get a photo op or the wine and cheese crowd, as they say. But to hear boos, I was very
That's
in the
that's my people.
in the lower bowl. I heard boos in the lower bowl. You know what I'm saying? I was so surprised. I was so surprised.
And it's sad because Jason Kidd was one of my favorite players. Like
Gosh.
I was a fan of the hiring, but I did not know he was going to be this bad. I thought he was going to come back to Dallas. He's a former player, good player. I thought he would be a lot better than this.
And then you saw that one guy, the group of guys that we interviewed, the two dudes. They were like, "No, we love Jason Kidd, right?" And I think they weren't as optimistic as the other guys, but they understood that he has things to work on. But they're like, that's a Hall of Famer or our champion, or head coach. And I'm just like, I think that's how everybody feels about it. But it's just like I separate the player from the coach.
Yeah.
And if it was any other coach, I would have been saying the same things.
Steve Nash,
it hurts me. It hurts me to hate on Kidd. I don't get no joy out of it at all. But
no, that's a great point because almost everybody that we ran into last night, and this is for a long time, is that Jason Kidd is so beloved in Dallas as a player, winning a title with Dirk. Like he's immortalized for a lot of people, where they'll just never see it as they should because they love him so much, and it makes it difficult. And I think it also, I thought about this earlier, shines a light on sometimes when I'm on Mavs Twitter, I think that's how all Mavs fans are. And I forget sometimes that it's a small niche and it's a small segment, and that maybe there's more negativity on Twitter, and kind of even like what somebody was talking about when that person called Kevin Durant a bitch, and just like that there's that separation from them being real people at times. And you have this crossover at the game where most of the people you run into at the game are not on Mavs Twitter, I think, for the most part, and aren't as negative and are just like kind of optimistic and like, hey, I think we just need to finish strong, and they all love J Kidd. And so just kind of recognizing that and seeing that, they're like, okay, not everybody feels the same way that I do or the same way that Mavs Twitter feels. I think it's important to kind of see that other perspective sometimes, and running into some good, fun people at the game just kind of reminds me of like going there and having a good time and how fun it is and how enjoyable it is. But yeah, I don't know.
And you need it because if you just base your fandom off of Twitter, you get lost into how optimistic the fan base actually is. Because the Twitter is not a representation of the general Maverick fan base at all. When you go to these games, they're very positive most of the times, right? So whenever I saw the first guy we interviewed in the hangar, right?
Yeah, he was too happy.
Very happy, right? And part of me, I was like, you know what? I'm not gonna push my pessimism on him. Like, I don't want to do that to him. Like, he's very happy with the team. He's proud of what they're doing. I'm not gonna do it to him. I'm not gonna bring the Twitter toxicity to him. He does not deserve it. And so I just asked him like questions that I knew we could get by, and I thanked him. I just didn't, because I felt like I went into the game pretty negative because of Jason Kidd, right? So whenever I saw him be as positive as he was, I was like, I got to check myself. I'm a fan as well, but it's like, I know the problems, but all right, I got to balance it. I got to find a way to enjoy my team and then also criticize when I need to criticize. But it was refreshing to see that in a way.
Yeah, I agree 100%, man. There's a lot of really good Mavs fans out there that keep it positive, and Mavs Twitter, I think for the most part, doesn't represent some of the people that we ran into. But again, shout out to Missy, because she's a real one, and really enjoyed talking to her and getting her perspective. And I hope we get to see her again sometime, man.
Big J, do you know Missy by chance?
Nah, nah. Like I said, I never met her, but no, I mean,
Did you see?
I saw the interview, but she
Okay.
had some good points.
Yeah,
Yeah,
she
yeah.
was fun. She was fun.
I think too, like you said, like don't deserve it about something else. But um, Tim Hardaway Jr. Man, he doesn't deserve this. I honestly like. I think J Kidd does. I wasn't here in 2011. I was. I'm just. I wasn't a Mavs fan. I don't look at J Kidd like that. I think the way he's been towards the media and towards Mavs fans and towards Mavs Twitter, like his attitude and his cockiness and all the people he's thrown under the bus over and over and over again, and how I think he's wasting some really good years of Luka and now this window with Kai. And I don't know that they're going to move on from him after this season. They had enough injuries this year. There's still maybe enough built-in excuses. So like I don't feel bad for J Kidd, just how he's been and like just his attitude and his unwillingness to change and his stubbornness. I'm not a fan, right? As you can tell, but like Dwight Powell, bro, you talk about a professional. This guy has been a Dallas Maverick. Always has a good attitude. Always works hard. Probably like a great teammate, a great locker room guy. Gives back to the community. The type of like attitude and energy you want in your locker room. He's just not good enough to be in an NBA rotation. And it's okay to say that. But for all the hate that he gets, again, some of it from me included, right? Like I've been a part of some of that negativity towards some of these guys, and it sucks. And I think it's Mark Cuban's fault for creating an environment and for these guys for getting the minutes and for having the coach creating an environment, like he said earlier, about hating seeing these players be on the court. It's not fair to them. It's not fair to the fan base. And I think it goes to Cuban. And then next in line is Jay Kidd for this lack of culture, which is so evident. Like we talked earlier about challenging somebody at halftime and like what that feels like. Do you think that anybody in this entire organization is challenging these guys right now? Maybe once in a while, Jay Kidd will get in their ass about defense. And then they talk about that for 3 weeks about the speech that Jay Kidd gave about he really got in our ass about defense. These guys are not being challenged. Number one is Luka Doncic. There's nobody in that locker room or organization that would grab Luka by his jersey and tell him to get his shit together. And that's exactly what he needs. That's what those guys, those young guys, Josh Green needs somebody to get in his ass and challenge him. Josh Green will respond. He's not getting challenged. I don't think. I'm not in the locker room, but these guys are not being challenged by anybody. Maybe Jared Dudley, but like, come on, man. I love Duds. I love him back to his Laker days, but nobody has that dog in them. And real quick, because I don't want this to slip by. I know that it looks like all Luka's teammates love him. But how come they don't stick up for him in games? It's rare when somebody gets too physical with Luka, you don't see his teammates sticking up for him. I don't think. And that's just something I noticed last night. We talked about at the game. I was like, bro, the coach don't stick up for him with the refs. His players, like, it doesn't seem like his teammates stick up for him when there's like scuffles and stuff a lot of the time, or there's issues. Like, is there something deeper there? But when we talk about this team and this culture, I don't think it's in a very good spot right now. And I would love to see them go on a run because I think they have the roster to do it. But damn, they're making it tough, man. And it's frustrating. And Mavs fans are frustrated. The ones on Twitter have been for a while, but even the ones at the arena that we saw that are the optimistic ones, they're even getting frustrated. The national media is starting to be like, damn, what's the problem in Dallas? And I hate that Luka's getting so much of the heat. That's another thing. That shit ain't fair to Luka to have to bear the brunt of this. He can't win. And Chandler Parsons gets to go on ESPN and run his fucking mouth. Why? Because they have put him in a very difficult situation where it's hard to get W's in Dallas because of the culture and the coaching staff, and it's not fucking fair.
Yeah.
Amen.
Yeah.
And And
Go ahead,
I
Noah.
don't understand. I don't understand what happened to J Kidd. Like I know on this first year, he was engaged with the team, especially on the Conference Finals. Where he was on the sideline, talking, yelling about defensive schemes and all that. I don't know. I don't know what happened.
I think he's trying to master being zen and calm, cool, and collected. Even I don't know why, but I think that's been his approach. I don't know. Maybe he's gotten a lot of therapy to deal with it, to be like calm and cool. But I don't know, man. I don't
And
know.
Steve Nash, I would have taken Steve Nash over J Kidd, but Kyrie, I don't know if Kyrie and Steve Nash is going to get along.
Nah, they ain't
Yeah,
gonna get along.
yeah, that'll be more toxic. Yeah.
Coach.
Yeah, no, definitely for sure. All right, man. It's 12:35. Not to cut everybody off, but I'll give everybody a quick second to get anything off y'all got on your chest before I attempt to end the show. Big J, any last words? Anything you want to ask, man?
No, looking forward to see what happens tomorrow. And like I said, I hope that he's learning. I'm talking about a kid. I hope he's learning and actually paying attention. I do think it was good that we had those losses on national TV because they got to see it wasn't just Luka. Because that's when the national TV started to turn on Kid, and they started calling out Kid for like where was Gafford and all that when they saw Cleveland getting cooked. So I think that's part of the reason he got all that pressure is we had those big losses on national TV.
Oh, especially on that Sunday game, the 76ers
Mm-hmm.
game. That was
Yeah.
very embarrassing. That was
Mm-hmm.
embarrassing. That's a good point. That's a real good point. Because like I don't think he pays attention to us at all, like locally. So
Oh, I'm sure.
maybe it took the national media to get to him, right? Noah, any last words for us, man? What you got?
The most overrated player in the NBA is Jason Tatum.
Facts.
Goodness, bro. His clutch, bro. I saw a stat. He's shooting like 31% in the clutch
Mm.
from the field. From the field, he's like 19 to 45.
Ew.
And
MVP though.
the media is trying to push him so hard to be the MVP. Like they're trying.
Their
But
best team.
yeah, best player, best team. Jalen
Yeah.
Brown is more consistent than him.
I was about to say, is he the best player on that team? Because I don't know.
Jalen Brown shows up.
Like there was another stat. There was another stat I saw when Jason Tatum's on the bench. The offense is still like a +8 when he's on the bench on offense. So he's not the most valuable quote unquote player.
Yeah. Chris, any final words, my guy?
Oh man, it's been a fun one. My debut on Midnight Mavness. I appreciate you having me on, man, and I want to see the Mavs pull off 3 straight and us all start drinking the Kool-Aid again and win these 3 games that they should win. And I want to cheer for the Mavs, and I want them to make a push. They have the roster to do it. I want them to go on a run in spite of J Kidd, just like they did in 21-22, and they could do it again because they have the talent. So I just want to see Mavs W's. I want to be Mr. Positivity. And, I want the Mavs to win basketball games.
You'll get back there, bro. You'll get back there. All right, man. I appreciate y'all hopping on, man. As always, I really do. It helps the show go. We got a whole extra hour out of it, man. So I appreciate y'all, man. But yeah, we'll leave it at that, and I'll I don't even know how to remove massively like everyone, but yeah, man. Appreciate y'all being on here. I am going to have a pregame show tomorrow. Okay, a pregame show tomorrow. I'm gonna show you who this guest is. If you don't know who this guest is, it is the Mavericks Digest.
Oh yeah, him, yeah.
Marcel is going to be on the show tomorrow, the pregame show. He does great videos, man. He's always like live updating, giving you live updates, and very energetic. Very, he's dope, man. Dope. We've been chatting it up behind the scenes. He seems pretty excited to be on the show. I know he's a brand new channel, and for me, I just like I think I saw him before he even had 1,000 subs. So it's dope to see how quickly he's grown, and hell, I'm gonna ask him for advice. Like, hey, bro, how do I keep growing? You know what I'm saying? Like, you did my YouTube career in weeks, man. Like, so Very impressed with what he's doing. So he's gonna be on the show tomorrow. Be able to chat with everybody, and looking forward to it. I think the game is at 6 tomorrow, so we'll be live at 5. And yeah, man, I got a special guest tomorrow.
It's gonna be an early game.
I believe so. Let me verify.
I don't know.
Let me verify. I don't think it's that early, but it's early.
We're bad with early games.
We are. It is. Yeah, it is in Detroit at 6 p.m. Central Time here. So it's 5 p.m. Central Time over there. So yeah, that is kind of an early game for the Mavericks and Luka Doncic. But hopefully, damn, we got Detroit, Chicago, Golden State, then Oklahoma City, then Denver. Damn. I don't want to get too deep into it.
Man, I got you know what's crazy? I got my tickets for sale for the Denver game because I can't go. It's my daughter's birthday party. And I got them priced the lowest of anything on the lower bowl. And it's not selling, and the prices are going down. And now people are putting theirs less than mine. So, like, I'm surprised there's not more of a demand for the Denver game. Prices are dropping for that game.
So you're just going to give them those tickets to me, right? I got you, bro.
Yeah. Bro, hey, if I could get more than 10 people to participate in a Twitter giveaway, I might actually think about it, but I haven't been able to do that yet. And I gave away some cool shit, and nobody really was that involved, man. But maybe one day.
Hey, Chris, I'll tell you this much. It's taken me over a year and a half to get my Twitter to where it's at right now. It takes a while, bro.
Where's the shit that you won on the Twitter giveaway that the 10 people got in? You got it in the background? Where's the Luka patch? I haven't even seen it on stream yet. Do you even have it, TGK? Where's the patch?
You gonna make me pull the patch out, bro?
No, you know, it's pretty damn late, bro. Maybe.
Yeah, I wasn't ready. I have it. It's just probably I can't reach it right now. Yeah, I can't reach it. But yeah, man. Hold on. Nick said Marcel met with Lively recently and asked him to get a couple of blocks against the Heat. Guess what Lively said? Yeah, if I get minutes. I'm dead. So the same day, you know, I didn't even talk about Kyrie's shoe release. I didn't even talk about Lively being at North Park Mall. So Lively was at North Park Mall the same time Kyrie was releasing his shoes. And I don't see like enough like notifications of it, but I'm mad that I didn't get a pair of Kyrie kicks. That's one. I do love how the city showed up for Kyrie. I thought that was really dope. But I think Marcel, Mavericks Digest, made the right call by going to meet a player in person as opposed to Kyrie because they shut down the entire Deep Ellum. I don't know if y'all saw the footage, but there was no way you're going to meet Kyrie that day. But anyway, man, it's time for me to go to sleep. It's been a long day. It's been a long week. Long ass week. 2 days in a row at the American Airlines Center is not for the weak, bro. At all.
Yeah.
Anyway, guys, appreciate y'all being here, man. It has been your boy here on TGK TV. Salute to Noah. Salute to Big J. Salute to Chris. Means a lot. It always will mean a lot. And sorry I didn't get to everybody's comments. Let me rumble through here real quick. Imagine if we had 2006 Avery Johnson. Man, I've been saying Avery Johnson would have been amazing right now. Joe says comment for the algorithm. That's my guy. Gina Kim said, for me, if I played with Luka, it'll take me 10 to 15 games to get used to Luka's IQ. It's too complex for me. He would go into shooting motion, then randomly pass it to me. I wouldn't be ready. Honestly, Gina Kim, that's how I play. I sell a move to get a defense to pay attention to the move, to go the complete opposite way. If you ask my friend Dave, he's picked up on how I play, so he's able to read my passing lanes. It annoys the hell out of me. So whenever I play against my friend Dave, I have to play completely different. But yeah, I like to manipulate the defense whenever I'm playing basketball. I would read a lot more of your comments, man, but I'm sleepy, dogs. I'm sleepy. Daniel says, need that win against the Pistons. Can't take Detroit lightly. No, we can't. And again, salute the Mavericks Digest. He's going to be on the show tomorrow. Definitely excited for that, man. We just growing this. Getting more Mavs content creators involved means a lot. It's just awesome in general, man. Anyway, guys, been your boy TGK. Catch y'all tomorrow, 5 p.m. Central Time. Crazy, huh? Crazy. Let's get it.